4 miles northeast of Miltonvale, moving northeast 45 miles per hour. So that's just about exactly where I was showing it a moment ago on this. I'm going to zoom. Actually, I'm going to go to the camera here and see if I can see it from the other side from Concordia. You probably can't, but if you're in the Miltonvale area up to Morganville, you should be taking shelter right now from that storm, just in case it were to touch down. Again, it's Doppler radar indicated, so we're going to encourage you to stay in a safe spot as this moves by. But looking out from Cloud County Community College now, this is looking to the south, and you can see the strong winds. And this line is not going to be the end of it. There will be more storms developing behind this. This is actually still well out ahead of the dry line. I'm going to pan over there and try to look to the east and see if I can actually see that. From this side, it's going to be a bit harder. As you look to kind of straight east there across town, I can't see it from that vantage point. It's just hard through all the rain. But if you're Morganville, take shelter right now. Let's zoom in more closely on this again. And again, Morganville, take shelter. Clyde, you should be taking shelter right now as well with this. Again, it's Doppler radar indicated, but we could have this touchdown at any point. There are actually a couple of spots of rotation I saw there, but again, it's moving to the northeast, 45 miles per hour, very fast forward speed. So Clifton, Morganville, you should be in shelter right away with this. The rotation right about there. If it continues going off toward Clifton and Morganville, you're looking at maybe 6:30 as an arrival time, probably at the latest. So down the line, we have more storms that are developing, and I would not be surprised to see more tornado warnings developed or issued along this line. It's very possible we could be going with tornado coverage for the next 4 hours, honestly, from what I see here, as the storms are moving into an area where the environment is certainly primed to produce tornadoes and rotating storms. Okay, looking at Cloud County. Okay, all right, so again, tornado warning right there for Clay, Cloud, and Washington County. I'm concerned about these storms far to the south as well. As I bring up the velocity, you're going to see several areas of spin. Get down here to McPherson County. We've got rotation coming into McPherson County shortly. The area around Saline County, you should be watching this too. Abilene, you should be watching these storms off to your southwest. And even areas around Council Grove over to Morris County. I'm concerned about you in case one of these goes tornadic. Sometimes they can turn right or start heading almost due east. So I'd be worried about Council Grove, and we're watching you guys as well. But right now the story is this one. It's the northwest part of Clay County, eastern Cloud County, and the southwest part of Washington County. So if you're in Concordia, you are not in the tornado warning. And again, it's Doppler radar indicated at this point. If you just look at the radar, this is not, just from looking at the reflectivity, this storm doesn't show up, a whole lot that's threatening there, but it is spinning in the kind of the south part of the storm. We put back on the now mode so I can zoom in more quickly or closely and show you where the spin is located. Weather Service said it was a couple miles northeast of Miltonvale a few minutes ago. So now we're going to be looking at this area right here that's getting closer to Morganville. Zooming back out again, it's Doppler radar indicated. This isn't on the ground that we know about. This is it here. It's actually getting closer to Clyde now, and it'll move into the southwest parts of Washington County. So again, it is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. It includes Washington County, northwest Clay, the eastern parts of Cloud County until 6:30. And looking at this again, this is going to be kind of embedded in the heavier area of rain. So this is not one you're going to be able to get a picture of. Like the Westmoreland tornado we could see for 20, 30 miles. We had dozens and dozens of pictures and videos coming in of it. This is not that kind of storm. This is going to be a rain-wrapped storm for sure, so I don't encourage anybody to try to get out and get a picture of this. There are storm chases all over the place, although I don't think there's anybody chasing this from anywhere, most likely. That wouldn't be one that most of the storm chasers would pick. They would be more likely looking at the stuff down in northern Oklahoma and maybe south central Kansas. So this storm's not going to have a bunch of storm chasers on it. I'm going to check the otder radar and see if I can see the spin there. This is from the Hastings radars we're looking at there. So still seeing that spin, getting awfully close to the intersection of 3 counties there. And again, the Weather Service is moving 45 miles per hour to the northeast. At 5:58, it was located 4 miles northeast of Miltonvale, and again, moving very quickly. So if you're in the area on Clyde, you should be taking shelter right now. If you're in Miltonvale, the rotation is past you. Morganville, there's really a couple of spots that are spinning in that storm. It's hard to pick which part of it's the most dangerous, but the part they're mentioning was right about here, and it's moving to the northeast. So it's going to be close to the intersection of the three counties, right to the intersection of Clay, Cloud, and Washington. So folks around Clyde, you're really in the most danger from this. It was going to touch down. I don't see indications this would be. You know, we're telling you about the possibility of big tornadoes and that kind of stuff. I don't see an indication this is a very big one, but if it does touch down, certainly it's a problem. So Clifton, I think you're the closest to this right now. Clyde is awfully close as well, but the area that's in most danger right now is Clifton. Clifton, you should be taking shelter right now from the storm. There's your rotation. It's about to come across Highway 9, and again, Morganville is right down here. That area of the primary rotation looks like it's probably going to miss Morganville, but Clifton, Clyde, right between there on Highway 9 is by far in the highest risk right now of seeing a tornado touchdown if it is going to do so. So right there at really the intersection between the three counties is where we're looking at the highest probability of this doing some damage, getting almost right onto Highway 9 now between Clyde and Clifton. Right there, that's where you should be taking shelter. You should be taking shelter in the whole warning. But just letting you know where it looks like the most likely spot for the damage would be, with this going to be right there where the three counties all come together. Go to debris mode and see if I see anything flying on here, and I don't. So this product is called correlation coefficients, and all it means is it looks to see all the bits in a storm and see does the stuff match or does it not match. And if you're in a situation where you have all raindrops the same size, and it gives you this red shading right here, if you get a tornado that's throwing in leaves, branches, other things, none of the pieces match. So then it tells you these things don't match, and that's almost always debris. Right now I don't see a sign of debris flying there, but near Clyde and Clifton, that's where you should be aware of this possibility of seeing a tornado touchdown from this. I'm trying the different radar sites here to see if I can pick anything out, and I don't see debris flying, thankfully. But along Highway 9 between Clyde and Clifton, that's the greatest danger from what I see. If you're in Morganville, you should be taking shelter. Clyde, Clifton, you should be taking shelter. Milton Vale, when they update the warning in a few minutes here, most likely they'll probably take Milton Vale out of the tornado warning, but right now you are still in it. So if you're in those areas, not the whole county. The old days we had the entire counties were in all the warnings, but now they put these polygons for parts of counties. So if you're in Concordia, you don't have to take shelter right now. You're fine. Even if you're in Clay Center, you're fine. You may have to take shelter later, but right now Concordia is A-OK as this storm is just off to your east, and the warning does not include Concordia. Down to the south, I am watching these storms. This activity starting to come into McPherson and Saline counties has signs of rotation as well. These storms do not have tornado warnings with them, but this is the activity I'm more concerned about. If it's going to produce a big tornado, it would be something along this line, and there's rotation showing up right here in the northwest part of McPherson County that we're going to have to watch for. All right, see these updates are coming, updates coming in everywhere now. But I can tell you this thing right there in the northwest part of McPherson County, there's a rotation there as well. Those little areas of spin, those things can become tornado warnings really at any time here. So just be aware that I really think that stuff, once it gets a little deeper in the area and where the atmosphere is a little more unstable and there's a little more rotation available, we're probably going to see multiple tornado warnings with this. And this stuff coming in from the south, you need to be watching for that around Abilene, Junction City, Fort Riley as well. Manhattan, we've got to watch for you. Council Grove, that's close to you. My concern is if this stuff over here really gets powerful and starts to right turn, that's when Council Grove, it might reach you earlier than it looks like it would, just based on the motion there. There's a new warning being dropped there. That's a severe storm warning as well, just kind of out ahead of the old severe storm warnings. And again, I'm watching that whole line. But again, Clifton, Clyde, and Highway 9 between those two locations is where you should be taking shelter right now for sure. I'm going to zoom out and show you kind of the stuff going to the south as well. And this activity is also filling in and could impact us too. So down to the south in Oklahoma, these storms are supercells down here. This stuff's attached to the line that comes up into Kansas, and we could have more storms developing in between these that move our way as well. This is the line we've been projecting coming our way. The storms are staying out as individual supercells, and this will become more active and more widespread as we go through the evening. So be ready for more of these warnings. Right now we're talking Clifton, Clyde, and those counties between Washington County and Cloud County over into Clay County, but I'm pretty confident stuff from McPherson County down to Wichita is going to fill in a bit more and cause more problems. So here's what we expected a minute ago. I said Miltonville will probably drop from the warning when they update it, and that's what we've got here. They dropped all of Cloud County from the tornado warning. So you have southwest Washington County and the northwest part of Clay County. Morganville, Clifton, you are still very close to this. All right, Concordia had a 59-mile-per-hour wind gust, and I want to see the update on this warning.
I'm surprised there is a warning on the graphics, since I'm not getting any warning from the Weather Service.
Right. Do you see text on the update from the warning?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure why the polygon changed on our radar there.
They had to have done something. All right, so it looks to me like there we go. Now it's coming out. All right, they dropped cloud. They're continuing Clay and Washington as we see here. 6:09, Weather Service radar says capable of producing a tornado near Vining, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. That's where this is going to be now. So around Vining is where they're seeing this located at this point, moving northeast at 25. So a little while ago they had the forward speed was at 45 miles per hour, and now they brought this speed down a bit as it makes its way into the southwest part of Washington County and coming out of Clay County shortly here. Palmer, you should be taking shelter from this as well right now. I believe Lynn is close by there too. There's Clifton, so you should be taking shelter from this. There's Highway 9 between Clifton and Clyde, where I saw the rotation a few moments ago. So this area is where we look to have the potential tornado. There's kind of an inflow showing up there, really closer to Clifton at this time. You guys should be taking shelter right there for sure. So it's really right there on the line and close to Highway 9, close to Clifton. If you're in that area, you should be taking shelter right now. The inflow on this, I'm going to check out the debris. I don't see anything, thankfully, but close to Clifton and Vining is where they're saying this is located right now. And Clifton, Morganville, Palmer, Vining, those are the towns that are in the path of this right now. So zooming back out, again, we have several severe storm warnings that are lined up down close to Wichita, getting from Saline County down to McPherson County. And this activity, I'm convinced we're going to have some tornado warnings out of that stuff. And I'm more convinced to look at this even more closely now. So folks in Dickinson County, Gary County, even Riley County, pay close attention to the stuff that's down here that's getting into McPherson County at this point. That's almost sure to be more tornado warnings coming up within the next hour, if not sooner. So we're going to be watching that for more development. So right now, if you are in these areas of northwest Clay County and southwest parts of Washington County, that's where we have the potential for a tornado at this time. The National Weather Service saying that Clifton is in the path of this, Palmer is in the path of this, Morganville, they mentioned you to take shelter as well. If you're in Clay Center, you are not in the path of this potential tornado. I'm going to check the velocity and look even closer here at this. And the rotation to me looked like, there we go. That last frame, there's more of this showing. This has had several areas of rotation. It hasn't been just one part of the storm rotating. There's actually been several parts of this that are spinning. So there could be multiple spots in this that are suspicious. But from Morganville to Clifton, all the way up to Highway 9, all the way over into Washington County, the south part of Washington County. Palmer's there. Lynn, you're up here. You're in the path of this as well, although Lynn's not in the tornado warning at this point. But this storm has got a couple of areas of rotation. I don't see an area where we have it super, like a big rotation or something I'd be convinced is a big tornado, but a small tornado would be possible any time in the next few minutes here from Clifton, all the way from Highway 9 to Highway 24. That area, I see little areas of spin in there, and anything along that line certainly would have potential to produce a tornado. All right, more updates here. Expiring a warning for Ottawa County. All right, that's a severe storm warning. So Clifton takes shelter. Morganville takes shelter. Palmer takes shelter right now. If you're around Lynn, be ready to take shelter. You're not in the tornado warning yet. You certainly could be if they continue this. Again, the warning goes until 6:30 p.m. is the official expiration time on the tornado warning. Right now it's for the northwest part of Clay and the southwest part of Washington County. We have to watch this stuff down here very closely. There are signs that this stuff is starting to rotate as well, and this is what I really think is going to be, we have a possibility of a big tornado. I'm really concerned about this stuff down here as being the culprit for that if we get into that kind of thing. So I'm hitting now on this and stop the loop. You can see the rotation showing up near Nickerson, Kansas, and as we get in McPherson County, you're starting to see some spin there. And some of these higher values here near Lindsborg and Marquette, Kansas, this is a rotation showing up right there. That's going to have to be watched very closely. And as it gets up into parts of Saline County, there are several areas there that start to look more suspicious as the storm is maturing. And I do expect to see tornado warnings issued with that part of the line. Right now, 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible over here from McPherson into Saline County, right along from Smoky View to McPherson and down to King City at this point. So that's where I'm expecting to see more warnings coming out of that area. And that's going to move toward areas like Junction City, Fort Riley, possibly Manhattan, Clay Center. You have to worry about that activity coming from the south as well. So back over to the tornado warning. Again, it's in Clay County and Washington County. This goes until 6:30. If they keep it going that long, there are a couple of areas of rotation in here. I don't see one particular rotation that is extremely strong at this point. There are a couple of different suspicious spots there where there's spin. And there's one getting close to Morganville now. The original circulation is this one that's just north of Clifton at this time. So the Weather Service, the warning they're looking at was this thing right here initially on this, which is now getting the southwest part of Washington County. But the south here, just southwest of Morganville, the other part of the same warning also shows a suspicious rotation that could be a problem as well. So Clifton, you should be taking shelter right now. It looks like that rotation is close to you, if not past you. Morganville, I'm concerned about this rotation just to your southwest. Clay Center, you're still not in this tornado warning. If you're in Palmer, you are in the path of this. If you're in the town of Lynn, you're not in the tornado warning yet, but you should be ready to take shelter just in case we call out your name. And Palmer, this is awfully close to you in the town of Palmer. There's Highway 148 from Elk Creek over to Lynn. If you're in that area, the rotation is about to cross that area, so you would be in potential for danger in those areas as well. So again, this tornado warning for Clay and Washington County going until 6:30. It's not a confirmed tornado, and the rotation I'm seeing on the radar is not exceptional, but it's enough to produce a tornado warning, and we'll see if it in fact touches down. But as I'm mentioning, I'm keeping an eye on the stuff to the south kind of over and over here for a reason, and part of why I'm looking down here over and over again is I've been watching the computer models behind the scenes, and what's been developing today. There's a product they call the STP, or the significant tornado parameter, and the computer models are showing that those numbers really maximize right out ahead of this in this area. It's even higher than the stuff that's going on from Oklahoma City to Wichita at this time. So this storm that's moving into McPherson County and Saline County is out by itself, and it's moving into an area that's really primed to produce the possibility of a strong tornado. That's the kind of stuff that we're worried about. This thing in Clay County and Washington County is a big deal. It definitely is. At this point, it has rotation with it. It's not extremely strong rotation, so it doesn't show up obvious on the radar. You can see it, but the thing to the south, I'm more concerned about that being an, oh my goodness, that's super obvious. That's to the south, that activity has a higher potential from what I see to become the more dangerous storm of these. So again, this is a tornado warning going until 6:30 p.m. for the southwest part of Washington and the northwest part of Clay County going until 6:30 p.m. The National Weather Service cropped Cloud County off out of this a few minutes ago as the rotation moved out of Cloud County completely and over into Clay County. Now it looks to me like the rotation that initially caused the warning is getting closer to Lynn and Palmer at this point, and then there's a weak rotation just south of Morganville. But if the rotation that they were concerned about is up here now, and you can see it getting closer to Highway 148, Palmer, it's getting close to Lynn, at least that first area of rotation is, and it may even outrun this warning in a few minutes here. It was moving 45 miles per hour when they first issued the tornado warning with this, so it doesn't take very long for it to move out of something at that speed. They then updated the forward motion to 25. So a couple of spins there that are worrisome. There's one just north of Clifton. The other one's very close to Palmer right here, but within those two areas of rotation, you could certainly have a tornado touchdown anytime. I don't see signs there's a super powerful tornado in there at this point. Lynn, you're not in the warning yet. If you're in Lynn, I would think about taking shelter anyway right now, at least for the next 10 minutes. Lynn, again, I'd say you're not in the tornado warning, but I would take shelter in Lynn just because enough rotation coming towards you. and the kind of environment that's out there, just in case we get something that touches down and we don't catch it. But yeah, that part of the storm right here, just east of Clifton, getting close to Lynn. You know, I've seen several areas of just eddies in here, if you will, that look like a rotation within that storm. And one of the more significant ones I see there now is getting closer to Lynn, just a couple of miles southwest of Lynn. And if they were to update this, they may take it in deeper into Washington County. We're at 6:21 now. The warning goes until 6:30. So the possibility is there shortly for that to be updated, produced to include more of Washington County. Go back to velocity. I'm going to stop it and put on now mode here. And so I see a couple of spots of rotation. The first rotation we were worried about was right about there. And the new rotations are showing up right in this area, kind of east of Clifton and heading toward Lynn. So those areas of rotation are what worry me right now. So if you're in Lynn, again, I would take shelter now just anyway. There might be a new tornado warning issued for you in the next few moments here. That's a real possibility. But, you know, these things don't always follow the warnings like it's a fence. Sometimes we can have stuff that happens close to a warning. So Lynn, I would take shelter in Lynn right now if you're there. But southwest part of Washington and the northwest part of Clay County, you are officially in that tornado warning right now. And I'm going to keep going back to this one over and over again because I think this is the one we're going to have a problem with. As you look back to the southwest, this is going to be McPherson County here, Saline County there, and I'm going to fail my county quiz by not knowing the one that's just to the west of McPherson. Off the top of my head, I don't know which one that one is. So right over here, what county is that? Just one west of McPherson. I should know that.
West of McPherson.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think too.
Either way, all right. So I get a C for that right now. But this hook showing up right here, southwest of McPherson County. That's Rice County, it looks like. All right, so thank you to the computer for giving the update. Now it says tornado possible right here. In the warning tag, it says tornado possible. So what they're saying is severe storm warning. So we're acknowledging 70-mile-per-hour winds with this are very likely. And now the warning text is saying tornado possible. So Weather Service is seeing exactly the same thing I am there, that this thing is out by itself. It's got a nasty hook on it. It's also in the area that has the extremely high significant tornado parameter. We have to watch this. That is going to be a problem. This time of day at almost 6:30 p.m., this is the time of the day you usually see bigger tornadoes pop up if they're going to do it. This is usually the time of the day you get your bigger long track tornadoes if one goes. All right, so again, I'm worried about the one coming out of Rice County and into McPherson County. That will move northeast and will be a problem eventually for areas like Junction City and Fort Riley. Because of the time of day, I would expect that to be an issue for several hours, most likely. Now, the warning in Washington County has been cropped back to no longer include Clay County. So the National Weather Service has dropped Clay County from this, and we just have the southwest corner of Washington County in the warning on there. Doug, do you have the text on this one?
Yep, so at 6:22, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 4 miles northwest of Palmer, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So the biggest concern is going to be Palmer in that. So I'll go just to our normal one-panel mode so it doesn't confuse you with this. And so, of course, we are keeping an eye on this storm that continues to impact southwestern Washington County as it gets close to Lynn. So we're about 5 minutes away to see if there is a new warning with this storm system, and of course as we continue to monitor the storms along the line that is progressing eastward, continuing to monitor the tornado potential, as I do expect it to increase over the course of the next couple of hours. We have what's called the low-level jet that will be kicking in as we get closer to about 8 o'clock or so, and that's what we're most concerned about with this really starting to get going as it continues its eastward progression with this tornadic event. So we're still keeping an eye on it, even if we do get a little bit of a break between the 6:30 time that this expires and our next one. It is still expected to be quite a long night, at least through 10 o'clock, and of course the tornado watch going until 11 o'clock.
All right, thanks, Doug. So there's the tornado warning right now. It goes for the next 5 minutes here. Are we going to do a newscast at 6:30?
Maybe.
Okay. All right, so here's what we have right now. The tornado warning is near Palmer, is where they're concerned about this. They cropped this off to drop off cloud and drop clay out of this. So that's where the warning is. If you're along Highway 148, near Palmer, just northwest of Palmer, that's the most dangerous area right now. Clifton, they intentionally cropped this just north of you. So Clifton, you are no longer in the tornado warning. So you are considered to be out of the threat there in Clifton now. I'm going to pan back down to the south again, and this is what I'm looking at to be a concern probably for the next few hours. We could have different storms pop up. There could be more storms pop up. This one that's getting into McPherson County is the one that has the strongest signs of really being an individual supercell, and those are the ones that tend to create the bigger tornadoes, and that's what I'm worried about now, getting right there into the southwest part of McPherson County at this point. So that's one that really got my eye, and it's partially because of the structure of it, but also because of the position that it's in as it makes its way into the WIBW viewing area from the southwest. And because coming from that direction, it could go for several hours of affecting people in our area. So the rotation on this right about there, and if I zoom this back out, you kind of get the idea. If that thing goes northeast, you're looking at Abilene, maybe Junction City, and Fort Riley, all being areas that could be affected by that supercell as it makes its way to the northeast. Even if it's not a tornado warning with that, or a tornado, it's certainly going to be one that produces severe storm warnings for several hours, and it is moving into a region where the atmosphere is clearly primed to produce rotating storms. The computer models and everything from the Storm Prediction Center are showing that just to the east of that was some of the highest dynamics to produce dangerous storms. So
we're going to continue with the severe thunderstorm warning.
Severe thunderstorm warning?
I don't have my mic anymore. I give it to David.
Into Washington County?
Yes.
Okay. So the National Weather Service is going to continue this storm that's currently in Washington County. 6:30 is when it expires, the tornado warning expires. They're going to continue this as a severe thunderstorm warning going longer, but they are dropping the tornado warning as of 6:30 with this. The rotation of this is now really outrunning the tornado warning box it was even in. But they're going to drop this now in the next few moments, and they will go with a severe thunderstorm warning deeper into Washington County with that storm. So it's not rotating enough now to worry them to that point where they're issuing a tornado warning. So around Palmer, Lynn, you have a severe storm warning with the possibility of winds that could be up to 60 or even 70 miles per hour. So be aware of that. The tornado warning is going to be dropped the next few moments here. The severe storm warning will take over. That's a long area there. What I want you to make sure you're paying attention to, again, this line has severe storm warnings with it, but we could have tornado warnings develop somewhere in this at any point, really. But the part of it that I'm concerned about that has the highest risk of producing a big tornado that I see at this moment is this stuff over here that's getting into McPherson County. It's out by itself. It's got a hook on the back side of it. That's going to be moving up toward areas like Abilene, Salina, possibly affecting areas like Junction City, Fort Riley, Manhattan being the path of this as well. So this storm, because it's the south edge of the line and it has that hook shape, is the one that has the most potential to be significantly dangerous. Again, they're dropping the tornado warning. That's in the southwest parts of Washington County any moment now, and they're going to continue that with a severe thunderstorm warning for these areas going from Washington County down into Clay County. All right, so we need to end the weather segment here now. We'll check in with David and Melissa at the desk. We'll come back to weather when we have new things, and of course the forecast coming up as well.
All right, let's get you up to date on the news headlines. And with that severe weather moving through, the governor already declared a state of disaster emergency. The declaration enables Kansas to qualify for federal assistance.